Next, we will see the how to start with the blockchain project. Start with small model. In software development lifecycle, you might have studied several life cycles like waterfall model. Okay, that is linear model, waterfall model. Next is spiral model. You have seen rapid application development model. Like that, several models you have seen. So start with the small model of the product, few users, few features, and some functionalities. Like that, you start. Slowly add new features to scale to the large model. So what is the meaning of this? It is just like a spiral model. That means always the blockchain product development is a spiral model development in the software development lifecycle. When to use the waterfall model and when to use the spiral model. Waterfall model will be used when all requirements are fixed. When all requirements are fixed, you are supposed to use the waterfall model. For example, library automation. Library will be having some specific features. Okay, whether you do on computer or whether you do manually, the requirements are fixed. Okay, always you require a issue register, okay, and submission register and a classification. These are the things which are what are they manually doing. For this, you are going for computerization. For that, you are writing a software. These requirements given by the librarian is fixed. There is no new requirements to be added in that. When there is no new requirements to be added and all requirements are fixed, then you use the waterfall model. The waterfall model is just like the water will fall down from one step to other step to other step, down to the other steps. Once it fall down, it cannot come back. So once the requirements are fixed, you choose the waterfall model and you will complete the project. Once the project is completed, you cannot add new requirements. If you add new requirements, if you try to add new requirements, it will become the iterative model. Spiral model is a kind of that model, iterative model, iteration. So in which the specialty is risk assessment. The waterfall model lacks the risk assessment, while coming to the spiral model consisting of the risk assessment. If you add this feature in the next iteration, what could be the risk? Whether you want to completely modify the previous modules or any other additions and removal has to be done in the previous modules. This kind of things, this kind of risk assessment will be done in the spiral model. So spiral model will be used when you want risk assessment to be made before adding the new features. While coming to the waterfall model, when all requirements are fixed, you are supposed to add the when all requirements are fixed, you are supposed to use the waterfall model. So the blockchain product development is a spiral model. The reason is all the organizations may not be prepared their infrastructure for blockchain deployment. If you add some complex features, then you may work fine, or that project may work fine on your system, but it may not have sufficient infrastructure to launch in that organization. So this kind of features that you are supposed to think of, you have to discuss with the team and also to the stakeholders whether to launch this product or to launch this system, this much infrastructure is required, this much hardware is required, and this all things hardware or software requirements are needed, whether your organization is able to prepare with that or not. So this kind of things has to be mentioned. So that is the reason, in order to make the understanding, because the technology is completely new, sometimes the organization may not be knowing this technology. To have understanding of the technology, we use a via media solution called prototyping model. Prototyping model in the software development lifecycle will mainly focus on understanding the new technology. if one prototype is nothing but it's a toy. Okay, you are going to make a toy application and will give to the organization. They will work on that toy application and they will come to know, okay, this main application after development will look like this. For example, if you look at a, uh, a real estate company, okay, they have started some venture, a gated community. So whenever you go to that real estate venture, you will find in the beginning, in the entrance itself, their entire venture in a small pictorial representation, or maybe some toys may be placed there, like this is the high rise building and this is normal building and this kind of things. It's a prototype. You no need to visit the site directly, but instead by looking at that figure or by that demonstration there, you can understand that, okay, this is the gate 1 and this is gate 2, gate 3, and okay, this is the gate 4, and we have the high rise apartment, high rise building is at the east side, and the facing is of north side. Like that, you can understand just by looking at that demonstration which was there at the entrance of the any real estate ventures. So that is what we call prototype. So which is a kind of toy application. So the toy application will be made and will be given to the organization to understand. With that understanding, they can project the requirements, further requirements. With that further requirements, you are supposed to discuss with the managers that if I add this feature, this requirements must be satisfied, either maybe hardware requirements or software requirements, and because of this, there is a lot of risk involved in adding this feature. Obviously, the budget of the project may also increase. Like that, you have to make the project management schedule, and there may be slightly change in the deadlines and moving the deadlines before and after. This kind of things you are supposed to do. So to step into the spiral model, the prototype model may be used as the stepping stone. And in this prototype, you have two categories of prototype. One is includable prototype, another is throwaway prototype. Includable prototype is nothing but once the organization members understand the work or understand the project, the same modules you will include in the main project and will extend further. That is what is called includable. While coming to the throwaway prototype, once the organization employees or stakeholders understand the product with that particular toy application, that application is of no use. You will dismantle that application. You will work with the complete full-fledged application from the at the development side. That is what we call throwaway prototype. Once the work is over, the product is of no use, just like that. So the blockchain projects will always start with a small model first. You will start with a very simple few number of features, functionalities, and limited number of users. Like that, you start it slowly. You will make it familiar to the organized stakeholders and get the feedbacks from them. And what are the other requirements you take it, and slowly add the new features and check whether adding of this feature will have the impact on the previous features or not, or previous modules or not, and what are the other modules that will be affected if you add these features. Then you assess the risk in that. According to the risk, you may increase that or decrease the budget, or may adjust the deadlines, or you may recruit the people, employees. So you may train them. So these are the many things that will be as part of risk management people will do. So thereby it will become a kind of iteration. So this is called as spiral model. So the blockchain project development is a kind of spiral model development. First, these are the questions to be posed. What are the specific business problems, challenges that the first project will address? That is, especially the scope and business challenges to address. So what are the scope of the business challenges to address that you need to be clearly written, and you have to understand those challenges. What is the current way of solving the business problem? without blockchain, currently how the business problem is going to be solved. Means currently without blockchain, how people are developing the project or solution to this business problem. That is, understand the current system and areas for improvement. Next, assuming the business problem is large, what specific aspects of this business problem will be addressed? So whenever the business problem is too large or very large, never address that large problem. Instead, you divide that large problem into small sub problems. Then you try to address those sub problems, combine it, okay, to get a complete solution. So it is just like divide and conquer method. So first of all, how to understand the business problems? What are the specific business problems or challenges that the first project will address? Like first of all, you need to define the scope of the project and the challenges to address. What is the current way of solving the business problem? Understand the current system and the areas for improvement. Currently, how the system was built and what are the improvement in this system that you are supposed to think of. That is, it's just like existing system, proposed system, need for change that usually you will write in your projects. Assume the business problem is large. Assuming the business problem is large, what specific aspect of business problem will be addressed? Like if it is a large problem, then don't address directly. Divide this problem into small sub problems, like how divide and conquer rule works. Like that small problems, then address the small problems, then combine all the problems to have the complete solution. Who are the business network participants involved and what are their roles? That means who are the participants? Like if you write for an organization, like manager, finance manager, and the contractors, consultants. So there are several roles will be there, and you need to understand the business use cases with those roles. Usually, these roles and responsibilities will indicate the functional requirements, like how the participants will interact with the system. This is called functional requirements. These functional requirements in the design phase will model using the use cases. Use case diagrams especially indicates the functional requirements. Who are the specific people within the organization and what are their job roles? So understand the key users in the business network, starting from the managing director to the lower people. Next one is understanding the participants. Who are the participants? How many types of participants are there? Like general participants will be there, specific participants will be there, some VIP participants will be there, like that. How will they access and for example, if you look at Amazon, okay, in Amazon normal users will be there and prime users will be there, just like that. So what type of participants are there? How will they access and interact with the blockchain? Okay, so how they will access and interact with the blockchain? Will there be any peer nodes? Do you need a web application or mobile application to interact with the blockchain? If you require web application, then how will integrate with the blockchain? That also to be think of. Next is, if it is a mobile application required, then obviously nowadays both are required. Nowadays, almost all blockchain applications are supporting with the web and mobile based applications. So you must be in a position to develop a front end for your blockchain and to access the blockchain transactions via this front end. Or gateways such as exchange centers or data centers are provided, data providers are needed for your project that need to be think of. Because like in Bitcoin, you require exchange centers for exchanging the Bitcoin to local currency. Like that, do you require any exchange centers? Do you need to integrate to external data sources? Because external data source means third party. Because actually here we don't have the trusted third party. Then how to integrate the data from third party, that is external data sources. So some security measures need to be looked after. These security measures we'll see after discussion of the decentralized applications. Who will operate the blockchain and who will govern or regulate the blockchain? Who is the whole authority or whole and sole authority to look after, and what are the governing rules? We can say the bylaws of this project, or bylaws of using this blockchain. This must be clearly mentioned. What is the value or incentive for each participant to join the network? So these are the things you must That means whether anybody joins the network, whether they need to pay any amount, or if anyone joins the network, any incentive is provided, or if anyone joins the network with the referral of other participant, for the referee, will you provide any incentives? These kind of things, how it is just like a refer and earn kind of options that you will find. Like that, do you want to add any incentives to the referees? So these are the things you need to take care of in understanding the participants. We'll see some more concepts in the next lecture, like participants' identities and how, what are the different blockchain platforms, what are their features. All these things we'll see in the next lecture.